Hello, this is the 200. I'm here with another video, a controversial video about all the school shootings that seem to be happening a lot. And seems to be happening more and more often. I'm trying to avoid being flagged, but I don't know how I'm going to do with that one. But there's a lot of major problems going on that we need to address. One of the bigger ones is people blaming everything but the shooter. Now, this is pretty widespread, and a lot of people do it. It's just, I guess, natural when you're trying to find answers to blame stuff, like to help cope with what's going on. But we really need to place the blame where it belongs, as the shooter. Now, there might be, events that led up to him doing these acts, but we have to start blaming the person who does this more than any other, issues that we may have. They are doing like the media, social media, guns, and the list goes on and on. I saw an article blaming doors. The article is trying to say they're going to reduce, exit points, so it's not as easy of them to sneak into a school, which is really fucking stupid to be perfectly honest. Just closes off more escape routes. So there's a lot of problems that we need to start working on. Now, it's not going to be an overnight kind of a solution, but taking steps forward towards to resolve these is a great thing than doing nothing and blaming the wrong things. And another major issue I see is the 24/7 coverage of the media. Even though I just said we're blaming everything but the actual shooter, but these are also to blame. It's part of the freaking problem, right? It's They cover this like 24/7. It's national news. They plaster his photo and his name and everything. They glorify these people to a point where other people see this and they want the attention. The whole, I guess, the Me Too generation is what they've been calling them. They want to have that kind of attention too, and they see all these newspapers and national news covering this, and they want the same thing, and it encourages them in a way. That's a big issue too. Now, a bigger one of the bigger issues too is like these kids can't really, I guess, take social interactions too well. It's not like the older generation where it's just toughen up and fight back a bully. Today, if you fight a bully in like you punch a bully, that's for example, and today you're probably going to get arrested and charges filed and you have to pay medical bills and be sued. That's the way society is today. Back then, that was just a fight between people, and that would have ended it. If you got punched, then that would have been the end. But today they would probably sue you, and you probably go to jail or some shit. That's a big problem. You can't solve the quote unquote bullying in the schools by fighting back, because you're going to get more repercussions trying to fight them than actually taking it. So it's like it favors the bullies. It's kind of a fucked up situation over there. I say quote unquote because I don't know the situation. I don't know. There's a lot of you know people confirming that a lot of these kids have been bullied. So I'm just taking it at face value and say that this is true. That there is a major issue with bullying within the school systems, and they don't do much to really, I guess, quell that. Or there's supposed to be zero tolerance against this shit, but as far as I could tell, they don't do anything about it. So there's definitely something there, and maybe some coping skills for these kids might be some classes like help them, with social interactions, simple social interactions that seem to, not bother a lot of us, but seem to bother the younger generation way more, to a point where they have to do these things. I really don't know, like, the actual issue. Like, I can say these are part of the problem, but there's no, like, this is the exact problem and we need to fix this to stop it. And that's not how it is. It's like all there's multiple problems that needs to be addressed, but we avoid them because we just don't want to deal with it or whatever the case may be. And there needs to be steps taken to try to not only actually enforce some of these bullying policies that these schools have to help these kids cope a little bit better, with the whole technology age. It's way different when I was a kid. There wasn't like Facebook or any of these sort of social interactions with online and stuff like that, and we just need to teach these kids how to handle that kind of a thing. And stop with the fucking news shit, because that just encourages people. I hate to say that, but it really does encourages more people to copy them, because it's top news. They want to be noticed. And just the whole gun issue is banning guns is stupid, and a lot of people are trying to do that, but that's not a solution. And tougher gun laws, which wouldn't have helped in this situation. This most recent one, this kid took his guns from his father, which were legally purchased. There's no laws on the books that would have stopped this kid from doing this shooting. So what is the solution here? Try to teach our kids to, maybe be more decent to one another, because these shootings are becoming more and more prevalent. So you might want to be cautious of what you're doing to other people, especially in the school system now, like with these kids that just snap. So, and some coping skills and maybe some classes to help with some of these kids that I guess can't really handle, I guess, reality, as you want to say, and maybe we'll start stemming some of these shootings. A lot of people are calling for security guards and metal detectors. That would definitely help, but I don't see that actually happening, even though that'd probably be a pretty damn good solution to it. You can't walk into a courthouse without going through a metal detector, but they can't do it for these schools. So there's no excuse though for the money issue. If they really wanted to do this, they would just postcards, get those wand metal detectors. Those things are not that expensive, and it wouldn't take too long to process these students, right? If you had like a staff doing that, I mean, it would cost money, and don't get me wrong, but that's, I think, a lot. If you're a parent of these kids, it would be well worth the investment to put in some security within these in schools. I know it'd be quite an ambitious kind of thing to do this in every single school, or even if there's a guard present, that would probably reduce the violence that's going on with these kids, and maybe they would think twice about doing these acts if they saw security at their school. So these are some of the, I guess, not really solutions, but some ideas that we can start taking and going forward with, and hopefully we reduce this shit, because it's getting more and more prevalent within our everyday society, which is pretty fucking sad if you really think about it. But thank you for listening, rate, comment, subscribe.